Hello, thanks for coming to my morning coffee class today. Here's a quick review of some of the words we talked about. So today we talked about food, and here are those three famous chefs I mentioned: Anthony Bourdain, David Chang, and Baek Jong-won. First we use this word picky or particular. Picky is a little bit more casual, you use it with kids a lot. Particular can be for, a manager, or maybe sounds a little bit nicer. It means you don't like a lot of things, or you only like certain things. For example, I'm picky about food because there's a lot of things I don't like. But you could be picky about hotels, or you could be very particular about the style of clothing that you wear. Next we said bland. The last time I tried to make kimchi jjigae, it turned out too bland. Bland is like kind of no flavor, not salty, not spicy, like just not enough flavor. We also use the word texture for the feeling of food, but we can use it for the feeling of anything. Some people hate the texture of overcooked noodles or overcooked ramen noodles. So you could talk about the feeling of food for texture, but also I have a picture here of beach sand. You can imagine what that feels like and the texture of sand. Next we use the words laymen or laypeople. We use this in companies or industries when talking about non-professionals. So especially in our company, the pilots are experts in different aircraft systems, but myself, I would be a layman. Maybe I don't understand all of the technical parts of the aircraft systems. However, ordinary people is used more in conversations maybe outside the company. So we used Baek Jong-won as an example, and he seemed like an ordinary person. Not a celebrity, not someone very special or very famous, but just an ordinary person like you and me. To rub it in and to make something more painful, or sometimes we say like rub salt in the wound, where, if somebody's talking or bragging or boasting, they kind of make something more painful by talking about it. So there's these two sentences that I found on Naver. I don't know if the Korean is okay, but the English sentence is pretty normal. Don't rub salt in the wound by telling me how enjoyable the prom was or the party was. So somebody's saying, oh, this was great and this was great, and maybe the other person couldn't go, right? They couldn't have that experience. So you make it more painful when you talk about how wonderful it is. That's rub it in, rub salt in the wound, to make something painful. To fan the flames, or to make a problem bigger or worse or more serious. I heard you guys have a very similar phrase in Korean, and we do use this. So here's an example sentence. By complaining about the problem to everyone, she actually fanned the flames and made the situation worse. Right? If somebody tries to manage the problem, but they fan the flames and make the problem worse or more serious or bigger. Next, I want to talk about class transitions. So if you take a look at the left in orange, there are three phrases that I want to avoid and not to use these. So first, let's take a look at from now on. A lot of people, when they want to change the topic or change the subject in class, will use this. From now on, we will talk about aircraft systems or whatever. However, this is a little bit strange because from now on actually means from now until forever, for the rest of time. It would be better to use now we will discuss or next we will talk about instead of this now on. Next one, let's study about. This is okay, everyone can understand it easily. However, you don't need the about there. Instead, it would be better just to use let's study. Instead of let's study about English, you can just say let's study English, or let's study aircraft systems. Let's study the procedures of this situation, rather than using that about. And last is for your information. It's okay to use this in emails and writing. However, when speaking, it's a little bit rude or can sometimes sound angry because we use it in arguments a lot. So it would be better to avoid that and instead use just so you know. So if you take a look at the purple options on the right, you can see now we will discuss, let's study, or just so you know. These are kind of better phrases to use than these other ones. And instead of now, you can also use last, finally, next, after lunch, tomorrow, in order to change the topic in class. All right, now we will discuss engines. Or after lunch, we will talk about case studies. Tomorrow, we will discuss whatever topic. It's a good way to change the topic in class. All right, that's all I have for today. Thanks.